It's good to have you on and good to talk to you tonight.
Thanks for having me. I mean, in my case, it's early in the morning. Not actually early. It's 11 a.m. in Germany right now.
Right. Before we get on to the new album, how was it all going? Because I understand you've delayed the release of this album. So was it in fact recorded before COVID hit?
Actually, COVID-19 was the least of our problems, I really have to say. We started the pre-sale in November 2019 because we had a lot of vocals and guitars already recorded. And then we did the drums and the choirs. I know it's a weird combination, but we did the drums and the choirs in December 2019. And we were actually expecting it to be ready like in the first month of 2020. I mean, I don't believe in things like that, but it almost felt like if there was somebody who didn't want us to get this thing finished. There were like at least 15 to 20 situations that threw us back for like over 1 week each. There was so much stuff going wrong, from the drum recordings where I had to go to the music store like 5 days in a row. I'm not kidding. Like destroying microphones and cables that we couldn't replace, and he even broke his right cymbal. You know, I mean, who breaks his right cymbal? These things don't break. Then we had problems with the power grid in my studio, and I had to go into another studio to record the guitars and stuff like that. You know, and by the time that COVID-19 hit, we were already cynical. It was already like, oh, and the worldwide pandemic. What else? Come on, throw more at us. And it just wouldn't stop. You know, there was I had 3 songs mixed, and then my mixing project somehow broke. We didn't get it. Everything looked fine, but it sounded totally different from what we did before. So I really had to. I mean, that was after the first single was already released. So I basically had to redo the whole mixing from scratch, which is virtually impossible to get to the same sound, but we managed somehow anyway. And just so much stuff going on, you know, like we got final files for the DVD that were ready for production, you know, and just take them and send them out. And I was like, there was so much stuff going on. Maybe I should burn it on a DVD and put it in the player. And I put it in the player, and it just showed a folder structure, you know, like no DVD menu and stuff like that. I was like, come on, this was meant to go into production right now. And I just said, this is like tons of this stuff was happening. It's really crazy. Even the guy from AFM Records, in the beginning, they felt like I was making fun of them. But now, I mean, they got that all, but now they are saying as well, they never have experienced something like that. I mean, statistically speaking, the next record should go absolutely perfect, like nothing, everything first take, you know, that would be, yeah.
Well, you got there in the end, and dare I say it was worth the wait. So what can you tell us about this album, about the songs on it? Now, I understand your previous albums have that common theme running through it. How does that relate to this one?
It's always like that. We always have a concept record without having a concept. So it's always like this shared theme. In this case, it is dark sci-fi, you know, like this dark futuristic approach to it. In the beginning, when we had the title Final Days, we were actually thinking about doing 10 songs about 10 options how mankind could find its end. So we started with In the Dawn of the AI, that is about an artificial intelligence that is taking control. Then we had It Is Over, that is about the last asteroid impact on Earth. We actually had a song about a killer virus, and we decided to not put it on the record because it didn't feel appropriate anymore. But what we didn't really do that then with all the songs. What I really like to do when it comes to the lyrics is I will take a semantic field, like a field of words that is connected to the main theme or to the main idea of the record, and then build metaphors with that actually say something totally different. For example, you got the song Black Hole, which of course you will think of space and the black hole if you listen to that. But actually the lyrics are about the impression or the feeling that the weight of your own depression is dragging you down to the ground. Also a track like Heart of the Android, where a lot of people were thinking it is about the question if a program or a robot, once it's sophisticated enough, can develop like some sort of a personality or something. But it's actually not about that. It's actually more about a person who has got the impression that he has just to function, and people are expecting him to function all the time and do his stuff, no matter the cost, no matter how they don't care how he feels, you know. And I really like that a lot. I do that in a lot of songs. So
first time I was listening to it, I was listening to Alone in the Dark, and I'm thinking, this lady sounds like an angel. And then I looked up who it was. I said to myself, that sounds like, I didn't know her name. I said, that sounds like the lady from Brothers of Metal. And turns out it was. How good is she in that? She's just fantastic.
She is fantastic, yes. The thing is, when it comes to making an Orden Ogan record, I mean, Orden Ogan is doing pretty well in Europe. Meanwhile, I'm making my living from that. But still, I never viewed Orden Ogan as being a commercial product, you know. It is all coming from the heart. It's just what I want to do. And we always had the same approach when it comes to guests. So it was never about having the biggest name dropping, having the biggest stars on a record and stuff like that. It was always about what can the artist bring to the table. And when we wrote that song, we were thinking about who could do that. And there were a lot of names of female singers thrown around. And she was suggested by AFM Records. And I was trying to picture how her voice would sound in that song when she did like a very fragile and melancholic interpretation of that. And so we decided to give it a shot. And when she sent back the tracks, I was just blown away. I think it's the perfect performance for the song. I don't think anyone could have done that in a better way.
I absolutely agree. So the album came out just the other day. So how's the reaction been to it so far? I'm assuming everyone's been favourable of it, just like me.
Mostly it was very, very good, very, very well received, especially also from journalists. I mean, I did a lot of interviews in the last years, but this time it really feels different. Like a lot of people seem to be like really in depth and really like the record. Also, the fans seem to love it. I mean, you always have like some people who say, no, Eastern Hope was the best record, or no, Gunman was the best record and stuff. And you will always have these people, and it's okay, you know. Like, I mean, taste is everyone has got a different taste, and that's totally fine. Should be like that. But generally speaking, yeah, we are absolutely blown away by how well it goes right now.
Excellent. What happens now? Are you going to be able to play in support of this album, or are you still sort of locked away?
I mean, we were actually thinking of, we wanted to do our headlining tour here in Europe in September last year already with supports Gravedigger and Rage. That would have been like an amazing German metal package. But we had to postpone that to April this year, and then took on Brothers of Metal and Wind Rose due to scheduling conflicts as supports. And that has been postponed to February next year again, you know, like 2022. I mean, I don't see any shows happening this year, at least not here in Europe. And I mean, I'd be happy if that works, but I don't see it. And so we were thinking about doing a streaming show. But I really have to say, from everything that I've watched in the last year, a lot of that stuff made me even more sad about the situation, because you have a band that is on a stage in an empty venue. I mean, I had that for years myself. I don't want to play in empty venues anymore. And so if we are going to do that, it would look vastly different from what other bands have done. So it will be more like a music movie, or like a very, very long performance clip, stuff like that, you know, like something special, not being in a venue and do stuff. But maybe then go with a crowdfunding or so. We're not really sure yet. Our focus was just on bringing out the record right now.
The streaming is a strange one, isn't it? Because I have seen bands put on, you know, quite impressive shows in, as you said, an empty venue. I've also seen bands live streaming basically from their rehearsal room, which is a bit weird. So less is sometimes more, but you can go too low, I think.
Like I said before, we do want to do something special if we do that. You know, Orden Ogan was always about quality. We always wanted to release stuff that has the highest quality of what we can achieve with what we can. And so we would definitely not stream from our rehearsal space or something like that. That's like, no, it's not our thing.
How have you been keeping yourself busy? You've been doing producing and all that as well, but how else have you been keeping yourself busy?
I mean, I was actually, it took us so long to get this record finished. Like I said, we were expecting it to be done in the first month of 2020. And I listened to the final master on Christmas Eve. Like I'm really sitting by myself at a lake in my car and was listening to the final master once again to be like really sure that's it. And so that took forever. And I mean, but the thing is, I'm pretty happy because I'm happy, but I'm in a fortunate situation because I've got my own studio working with other bands. I'm right now working on the new Brainstorm record. I'm working on the new Rhapsody of Fire record, and there are some other bands that I'm actually planning to work with. So I was super busy all the time. Actually, it's the quite opposite. It's even more than before because so many bands had problems with their schedules and now got everything finished at the same time, and everyone is throwing their stuff at me like, get it done. And so I'm right now I'm working like 14 to 16 hour days, like not kidding. Yeah.
You're going to have the problem trying to get a gig afterwards because everyone's going to be out on the road again. This many bands trying to fit into this many venues. So you're going to have a problem then.
I mean, our tour is booked for 2022, like at least the first headlining tour through Europe. And so that is fine as well. So if it's possible to go out, then we will.
Anything else we want to touch on?
There's one thing that I would like to tell your listeners there, and this is actually stay healthy, everyone. I mean, it's possibly not the most dangerous virus on earth, but I still don't want to have it. I'm super cautious myself. So take care, stay healthy. And one thing that is maybe even more important is even if it feels like really weird right now and there are bad emotions and like with the economy going down and depressions on the rise and stuff like that, it may be like really bad for some people, but it's not the end of the world. It will get better at a certain point. And I think it's really, really important to stress that out, to really say, it's not the end of the world. It will get better at a certain point, even if it takes time right now. But in the meanwhile, you can just get the new Orden Ogan record and then it will be amazing.
Excellent. I approve. Hey, I think I should wrap it up. You can get ready for the next one.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. Thanks for coming on board and having a chat. Best of luck with the album. Excellent album.
Thank you.
Probably one of the best I've heard this year so far. So,
bye-bye.
Thanks, mate. Have a good night.